All right, time for the garden tour. So my elderberry plant, which I'm assuming is an elderberry plant, has actually started growing. Pretty crazy. It didn't seem to be growing for like a couple weeks. My herb garden is completely out of control. Now, actually, I have been gone for a week and I could not believe how everything has just gone wild basically in 1 week's time. You can see the sage and oregano, and let's see if we can get down there. The rosemary, climbing rosemary, and let's see, chives, basil, dill, and I actually used a bunch of this dill today making some dill pickles. Tarragon, that is the one thing I haven't used much of, and it was supposed to get really tall, and it's actually really small compared to the basil, so I don't even know if it's getting enough sunlight. And my calendula. So while I was gone, Daniel collected a bunch of the calendula flowers, and so I have quite a big half pint full of calendula flowers, and I've ordered all of the ingredients to make a salve, so I'm excited about that. You can see, look at what romaine lettuce does when you don't do anything with it. I've never seen a romaine get like this. It's actually pretty cool. And then of course, take a look at that. I'll be able to collect seeds here soon. My empty lettuce bed, which I think I'll have to be replanting very soon for the fall harvest. You can see all my flowers that the bees have just been going crazy over. So pretty. And a lot of these fall down. You know, I tied up some in the beginning. Look at these new ones that have come in. It's been kind of amazing, some of these brand new flowers that have kind of come in, you know, after all of these ones came in. They were, you know, big and bushy and just kind of took over the whole entire flower bed, but then all of these little ones like this have kind of finally come through. It's been kind of fun. You can see I don't know if you can see it with all the sun, but my sun gold tomato is coming up the trellis. And so are my cucumbers. You can see one right here. Now I just canned my first batch of dill pickles, and I was using the low pasteurization process. I'll let everybody know in a couple weeks how they turned out, but I think my temperature gauge wasn't working right the first time around, so they didn't seal, so I had to process them the second time. So the whole point of the low pasteurization was to keep them crispy, and I don't know if that's going to happen now since I've had to process them twice. Also today, I made a batch of pickled pepperoncinis. Canned those up. I mean, look at these. I'm gonna have to do another batch. I think 6 plants is way too many pepperoncinis. Whew. It's so hard to walk in here. I mean, look at this. You know, these were aisleways. And these determinants have just taken over. I tell you what, these aromas though are so delicious, and they're starting to come on. So it's gonna be tomato canning here pretty soon. And let's see, let's get down there and look at some of these Fresnos. All we're waiting for is to for them to turn red. And speaking of red, we had some Cayenne Peppers that were red, and I harvest those. That's all these. There's a bunch of them in here though. Look at that. And I'll be making those into hot sauce hopefully, and the Fresnos as well. But look how big these Fresno plants are. I mean, they're just have done so well. I think the heat, they just love the heat, I'm sure. Finally, been getting tomatoes off of my indeterminates. Look at that. Definitely coming on. Almost consumed all of our onions. We've got, what do we got? 3 left. And look at our tomatillos. They're just going crazy. It's actually really hard to tell where the tomatilla begins and ends when it comes to the Roma tomatoes next to them. Now I've already picked a bunch of tomatoes. And we've been trying to keep up and eat them as much as possible. And here's my supercharged vining tomato. I finally just had to chop the top off of him because, I mean, he would have been hooked to the roof at some point, but look at those. Really very pretty. But actually, I haven't really enjoyed the flavor. I've ate some of the Roma tomatoes. They are absolutely delicious, and Daniel really likes them too. And the slicers over there, the vining ones over here, really good as well. But I have not really liked the flavor of that one specialty tomato. I don't know if it's just because I'm not getting it picked quite right or what. This is the Tigerella, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I have had one off the Tigerella. It was very good. This is the Green Zebra. And I ate one. I couldn't tell if it was ripe or not. So it's kind of a challenge to know when to actually pick them because they're supposed to be green. I can feel this one's slightly soft, and so I think that this is probably actually ready to pick, but we'll see. I'll just have to I'm trying to wait a little bit longer because the last one I picked that was kind of like this. I don't know, the flavor was a little bit strange. It kind of tasted like it was not quite ripe. The texture was a little odd, so I'm kind of waiting a little bit on that one. Beets. I did make some pickled beets out of the big large ones that I picked out of here. I really don't know if there's any more in here that are really big enough to harvest, really. They all look pretty small. But we really liked the flavor of the pickled beet recipe that I chose. So I'll definitely I think I'll probably go to a farmer's market and pick up like a few pounds of beets and just make some. Like this, our beans are starting to finally come up the trellis. So I was hoping to see lots of big bushy beans on here, and I haven't. So I don't know. I'm thinking maybe I need to plant more of these. But we do have some coming on, you know, but I know, I just don't see enough beans really. But the cucumbers have been going great, and like I said, I just made how many pints of dill pickles? Well, we've been doing refrigerator pickles for a while, and then today I did 8 pints of dill pickles. Yeah, and this one's like ready to pick right here. Our sun gold tomatoes. These are so good. Oh, puppies. You can't have any. Okay. Let's see what we got in here. More cucumbers. Alright. And they're doing pretty good. I'm thinking probably next year I will plant probably less cucumbers. Oh, let's go back and take a look at that. Sunflower. The other one, not doing so good. And tomatillos, not quite right. I don't see any of them yet that are, that are ready to go. But this is such a challenge to get through here. If it sounds like I'm hiking, it is almost like mountain climbing here. Not really, but still. It's a bit of a challenge. Oh my God. Without breaking off fruit. Now, remember when I said, oh, Daniel's roses are done. Well, apparently not. Let's go take a look. I don't know if there's 2 seasons to it or what, but we did have some late bloomers coming in. Very pretty. Let's see if I can get a shot with the sun all the way. And then there's even one, some lavender. I should make some lavender oil, I'm thinking. Look at that. Oh, smells so good. Now, today, back in here, I crashed a drone into the fence. I don't know, kind of silly. Look at these. Now, someone told me that these might be honeysuckle, I think. But I see the hummingbirds coming and going all the time. Really, really pretty. And my favorite, almost done for the season. Let's go over and take a look at our comfrey and the pumpkin. I'm a little bit worried about the pumpkin. It's got a lot of yellow leaves. Daniel just actually weed eated here, but here's the comfrey. Actually looking really good. And the pumpkin, a little concerned, you know, just because of all of the yellow leaves here. And then our raspberries. I'm not sure what to think about those. Blueberries. And a lot of good growth here on this particular blueberry. I'm not sure if maybe they responded well to the fertilizer that I put down. Daniel just weed-eated and mowed around here, so it looks really nice. But yeah, I was trying to get drone footage for you guys earlier, and I'm not a drone operator, obviously, and I didn't take the time to actually read the instructions on how to use the drone remote, so the darn thing started circling pretty erratically. Of course, I'm ducking and weaving, and I crashed it once into, let's see, this bush, once into the fence, and then the last crash was actually up in this tree. Daniel had to get it down with his fishing pole. I did get some footage, but it probably is hilarious footage where it shows me ducking and weaving. I'll have to look at it and see if it's funny enough to actually post for you guys to see. But anyways, a little bit of humor today. Well, I'm gonna let you guys go, and I'm sure I'll see you guys in a couple weeks. And everyone out there, be kind and wander well. See you next time.